We begin in Bangladesh, a nation grappling with widespread public disorder. At least 97 people were killed in Sunday's clashes between government supporters and those who want Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina to step down. Now, students are marching on the capital Dhaka to demand justice for the 300 people killed since last month. Now, right now, an indefinite curfew is in place. The internet has been cut off, offices are closed and factories are shut. The UN's human rights chief says that the shocking level of violence must end, as well as the use of excessive force against peaceful protesters and the spread of misinformation. Tanvir Chowdhury begins our coverage from Dhaka.
Protesters in Bangladesh have one demand: the government must step down immediately. And they say they'll stay in the streets until they do. Students and opposition supporters want justice after an estimated 200 people were killed and thousands injured last month while protesting against a government job quota scheme. The scheme has been dropped, but that's not enough for the protesters.
The situation in Bangladesh and the carnage happened because of the government and their failure. They have done all this killing and oppression. Nothing would have happened if they would have met the demand of the quota reform earlier.
Yes, I want to step down Sheikh Hasina.
Students have gathered across the city, including at Shahbag Square by the Dhaka University campus.
We're getting reports of clashes with police and ruling party members from different parts of the country with heavy casualties. The whole country remains very volatile, dangerous and tense.
Violence is a result of these clashes between the students, police, supporters of the opposition groups and supporters of the ruling party, the Awami League. Authorities have closed schools and universities across the country, blocked internet access and imposed a shoot-on-sight curfew.
She thought they could stop us by closing educational institutions, but you cannot stop us. Still, there is the mark of bloodstains on the road.
Protesters want to bring the whole country to a standstill, calling on the public to stop working and paying bills. A group attacked a major public hospital and a community center. Homes have been vandalized and some threaten more.
All the ministers are in hiding. Wait and see how the people will go and surround the Prime Minister's house. If Sheikh Hasina doesn't resign voluntarily, we will take our next step.
Sheikh Hasina blames the main opposition, the Bangladesh Nationalist Party, and now banned right-wing Jamaat-e-Islami Party for instigating violence and has pledged to investigate the deaths and sit with protesters. But they say they only want her resignation. Tanvir Chowdhury, Al Jazeera, Dhaka.
Okay, well, let's talk to Tanvir now, who is live for us in Dhaka. And we're just getting word through that there's a total internet shutdown now right across the country there. What more can you tell us about that?
Well, yesterday was announced that it's going to be the mobile internet and the access to social media would be barred. But today the entire internet is, as far as we know, is pretty much shut down. There's tension going on, clashes going on all across the city. There were students trying to gather at the Martyrs Memorial in the university campus. They were shot at, many got injured, some of them got detained. We were in Shahbag Square where the massive gathering was yesterday. It's now cordoned off by military and police. The curfew is very strictly imposed. The crackdown on the student last night with many casualties and injuries. Police used rubber bullets, live rounds, tear gas and sound grenades. Similar situation in Mirpur area of the city that police cracked down last night with many injuries. Today we know in a very elite private university, North-South University, students were trying to gather. Police went inside a residential area, shot at them, fired tear gas. Many were injured again. Similar situation we are hearing from other parts of the country. Even though the curfew is imposed, students are desperate to still get out and gather at the designated places. There was a call for people to come from other districts to join. It's called the Long March. Come and join us in Dhaka. But I guess they won't be able to because such heavy-handed tactics have been used by the authorities in every point. situation remains very volatile and dangerous even now.
Yeah, clearly, Tanvir. Obviously, as well as the threat to the protesters, there's always a threat to the economy as well, with the internet now being shut down right across the country, and many businesses and universities, schools, all being closed.
Absolutely. I mean, the economy as it is was struggling because of low foreign exchange reserve, high inflation, food prices were high, and with it, the last shutdown and frequent curfews, the economy has really been impacted. And the remittance people, there's 10 million Bangladeshis living abroad, sends money, nearly $22 billion a year. They have even blocked themselves together and said, we won't send money till this government is here, at least not for the next several months. So it is taking the bite. At least 5 garments factories were burned yesterday during the clashes. People are worried about the whole situation. The Army Chief of Staff is supposed to address the nation in a televised speech today. We don't know what it's going to be, but everyone's waiting to see if he has something to say. And that's going to be around 2 p.m. local time, 8 GMT. So everyone is apprehensive. They don't want this, but they also saw what happened within the last 2 weeks. And there's going to be a fallout from this once the curfew is over. I'm sure the student will still want to come out in the street. It's not over yet by any means.
OK, thank you so much, Tanvir. We will be keeping a very close eye on exactly what happens there in Dhaka and around Bangladesh. That's Tanvir Chowdhury for us. OK, well, let's take a look at how this unrest began. Students began protesting last month when a controversial job quota system that favoured children of war veterans was reinstated by the High Court. Now, the government responded by shutting down universities and using the police and military to crack down on protesters. Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina imposed a nationwide curfew and cut off access to phones and the internet. Around 200 people, mostly students, were killed. Thousands more were arrested. On July 21st, Bangladesh's top court stepped in. They ruled that the quotas should be scaled back from 30% to 5%, with 3% of relatives of veterans. Now, last week, demonstrations resumed amid outrage over the violence and the killing. Protesters issued new demands, including bringing justice and accountability for those killed and for the Prime Minister to step down. Hasina has vowed a strong response, calling the demonstrators criminals and saboteurs. OK, well, for more on this, we're joined now by Rumin Farhana, who is a former member of Parliament for the opposition Bangladesh Nationalist Party and a Supreme Court advocate and barrister. She joins us on the phone now from Dhaka. As we heard from our correspondent there, this march is trying to get underway to Dhaka today in support of these protests. After what we saw yesterday, though, how fearful are you that there could be an even greater crackdown on people taking to the streets?
Thank you so much. We are basically in a war situation. In one side, the common people of Bangladesh, and the other side, the Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina. She wants to be in power no matter what. She's ready to kill as many people as she needs to. So basically, she doesn't care what will happen to our country, what will happen to our people. And it is no longer the protest of the students only. It has now become the protest of the whole nation. The whole nation wants her to step down, but unfortunately, she's not ready to do that. She can do anything to hold on power. I see here her members of parliament from the ruling party, the ministers, they're also leaving the country. Yesterday and day before yesterday, the airport was really busy because many business persons, many members of parliament and ministers, they are leaving the country because they already understood that it's not possible to hold on power for, it's a matter of hours. I believe that it's a matter of hours.
OK. You're a former member of the opposition BNP, which has been accused of being behind these protests. Is the BNP actually fueling them in a bid to try and topple Sheikh Hasina?
It's not at all true. It is so funny that the Prime Minister is accusing BNP and the opposition leaders and members over and over again, whereas it can be clearly seen that it's movement of the common people. Initially, it was movement against the controversial quota system, and eventually it has become the movement of the removal of the government, because number one, this government doesn't have any legitimacy to be in power because it has come in power with a free, fair, inclusive election. Secondly, this government already shot down officially more than 300 people, and unofficially maybe it crossed 1,000. Many people are already injured. Many have been arrested. Our students are picked up. They're abducted. They're being tortured in the police custody. I mean, she is violating the human rights situation like anything. And she has done this for the last 17 years towards only the BNP members and other opposition party members. Now she's doing it on everyone, on the common citizens, students, and everyone.
OK, we'll have to leave it there, but we appreciate your input. That is Rumin Farhana for us in Dhaka.
Make sure to subscribe to our channel to get the latest news from Al Jazeera.